Welcome back to Library Choices YouTube channel. Today we'll be learning how to make this simple basic sleeve with flounce detail. It is very simple and it is beginner friendly. If this is what you would like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so to make this sleeve, you will need your basic sleeve. I already drafted my basic sleeve and I have a tutorial on how to do that on the channel also. So this is my basic. I'm using this Ankara fabric, and you need another fabric for your flounce. So I've added a gum state to this because I'll be adding crinoline to it. So I just added the gum state to the parts where I'll be using as my lining, and this is going to be my main fabric, and I folded it into two so that I can cut the two together. Okay, so now the next thing is for me to draw out my flounce. I already drew out my flounce, and the length of my flounce is 3.5 inches. You can see, so this is 3.5 inches. I have a detailed tutorial on how to do this. I'm going to put the link in the description box, so if you don't know how to do this, you can check it. But I don't want this video to be too long, that's why I don't want to repeat this. So after drawing out my flounce, I'm going to cut out the flounce. Then when I cut out my flounce, I will take my crinoline and then sew it to it before I then take it to the ironing table to iron it. Okay, so to know the amount of flounce you need, you will need to measure the space that you'll be adding this flounce to. In my case, I'm adding it to the center fold of my basic sleeve. So you just need to measure that place, which is here, and I'm going to be adding it like this and like this. So I have 21 here, so I need to multiply that by 2, which means I need 42 inches at least. So if you are going to be pleating it, you know that you need to add to your 42 inches. Okay, so I've cut out the unwanted part. Now I can cut my flounce. So to even make the job easier for me, you can decide to hold this with pins before you cut it out, so that your lining and main fabric will be together. So I've pinned it now, and when I cut it out, I'll know that they will be together, they will not be separate. Okay, so once you cut it, you can measure what you have. If it's enough, if it's not enough, you can cut more. Well, I'll be using whatever it is that I have here, okay, for my flounce. So like I said, I have a detailed tutorial on how to make this flounce. If you don't know how to make it, I'm going to put it in the description box so that you will check it out and see how you can make this flounce. Okay, so this is my flounce. The next thing I'm going to do now is to take it to the sewing machine and then sew in my crinoline round it. So after sewing the crinoline, I'm going to close it and then I will iron it. So I've sewn in the crinoline. As you can see, this is what it's looking like now. The next thing is for me to remove my pins, and then I'm going to fold this over and then give it a good press. Okay, so I've gone ahead to turn it and I've ironed it neatly. You can see how flat it is looking on both sides. So now to attach it to your basic sleeve, you can do this in 2 ways. Okay, the first way you can do this is by noting where your center point is. Okay, you can fold it and notch it, and once you notch it, you can just mark it with a chalk like this. Then after marking it with a chalk, you pleat this flounce if you have enough. If you don't have enough, if you have just what can go around, you are going to be placing it like this. But if you have enough, you are going to pleat it. So for me, I cut my fabric in excess, so I'll be pleating it on the Ankara, on the main fabric like this. I'm just going to be pleating it. You see, this is the center line that I have. I leave just a little space, and then I'm going to pleat it around it like this. So when I pleat it up to here, I'm going to leave like an inch or half inch to sew it to my bodice, and then I'm going to turn like this. So once you turn, you continue pleating it. Also, you continue pleating it till you get to the end point, or you can just tear it open, which is what I'll be doing. Then I'll cover it up with lining later. So I'm just going to put this on fold now, and then I'm going to open up the center fold. So once I tear the center fold open, this is what I have now. You can see it's now separate. So now I'm just going to pick one of my sleeve, and then I'm going to fold this into two. So once I fold this into two and I get my center point, I can now start to pleat it, the two together. So now I'm going to start from the end point here after hemming it here, or you leave space for hemming, and then you start to pleat it. So you can hold this with pin, or you just pleat as you go. So you pleat it like this on one side. So after you finish pleating this side, now the next thing you are going to do is to sew this on it. So now I'll take this to the machine now and then pleat it to this side, then bring it back to show us how we are going to be attaching the other part to it. So now I've sewn it, and you can see that I just pleated it a bit here. So you can also iron hairstay to this sleeve part to make it strong. Okay, so now this is what I have on one side of my sleeve. You can see how it's looking like. So now the next thing I'm going to do now is just to place this right side facing right side over the sleeve, and you can see that I left like 1 inch here for hemming, and also around 1 inch here before I pleated, so that I can sew it to my main bodies. So now I'm just going to fold this, place this on top of it like this, and then I'm going to sew it so I can use lining to cover the whole sleeve up, so that this edge will not be showing. So after placing it like this, I'll just turn it to the side that I already sew, and then I'm going to follow the seam line that I already have there. So I've gone ahead to place it on the other side like this, and then I've sewn it together. So now we have our complete sleeve again, but make sure that when you're drafting your sleeve, remember you're cutting and sewing back. So you need to add this allowance to your sleeve so that you don't have any shortage. And this is what the sleeve is looking like now that I've done that. You can see how beautiful our flounce is placed. So now if you have to be doing this for a client, the same way you cut your main sleeve, you need to cut a lining so that you'll be able to close up these rough edges that you have. So you just need to cut your lining the same way, then place your lining against your main fabric here, then you sew it and use it to cover it up. But for me, I'll not be lining this, so I'll just go ahead and place this together and then sew my side seam together by the allowance that I left. Then I'll take it to the mannequin so that we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so now this is our sleeve, and you can see how the flounce is just standing and it's rolling because of the crinoline. So you can see that this is even beginner friendly. Beginner can do this, and it is neat both inside and outside. So I prefer this method than the method of just placing it on the sleeve, because with that method you may still be seeing frills at the midpoint of the sleeve, but this just seals it completely and it's giving it a really perfect finishing. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you enjoyed this tutorial, let us know in the comment section. Give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe to our channel if you haven't, and click on the notification bell so that you get notified anytime we upload new videos. See you in the next one. Bye.